Hello everyone, I'm Jesus and welcome to the next episode of The Road to Old School MTG. In this video I have round 3 of the Premodern tournament held at Days Time Warp in Cedar Grove, New Jersey in July 2024. This was a small tournament, so only 3 rounds. So I won the first 2, so this is basically the championship of the tournament. Third round. So before we get into the video, I want to go over my deck very quickly. So I am playing a Stasis deck here. So it's mono blue except for the 3 root maces there. And that was a late addition, right before the tournament. This has been basically mono blue all up to that point. But I do like this change. So the deck is just Stasis, which is removes the untap step from every player. I continuously drop lands to keep on paying the upkeep costs of the stasis, or I do spells like Thwart and Daze and Boomerang, Chain of Vapor to reset my lands or reset the stasis, bring it up to my hand so I can get an untapped face again and then play it again. And eventually I went through Black Vise damage, where the opponent they have more lands than they can cast, and then they can use their mana because their mana stay tapped once they use it that one time. And then eventually they get a surplus of cards in their hand, and then the Black Vise finishes them off. For the sideboard, Annual against Staphonaut, Chill against red decks, Hibernation against quick green decks, and especially Elves. I think Elves is the hardest deck against me. And then Root Maze against anything that's too controlly. All right, so other than that, pretty straightforward. This is game 3. I am on the left, opponent's on the right. Excuse the angle of the camera. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that the camera got displaced a bit, so a bit of the bottom side of both our playmats is not visible. But thankfully, that's where we keep our libraries and graveyards, so the gameplay is not affected. So I went first. I just played an island and passed. There was no mulligan. And then opponent played a fetch land. He's playing mono red, so that's one of the decks I really feared. And then he's getting a mine. So he's using pen and paper to keep score. But then what I do is, and I've recently started doing this, is when my opponent does that, and this is pretty common, I will put die on the corner of my playmat, just so I can continuously keep myself updated, because then I gotta keep asking him, okay, what's your life? What's your life? You know, that I may, I want to plan things out depending on that, right? So, and if I keep on asking him, I might be keeping out some information there. All right, so he plays 2 Ursa's Baubles. So he passes, lets me go. I draw, I play a land, and then that's it. He lightning bolts me end of turn. He's probably going to use the Baubles now. So the Baubles is basically, so he picks a card at random and then he sees it. But then the trick is, I'm not supposed to know which card it is. So he picked the Daze. And then so then he's going to do it again. And then the benefit that you get out of this, of course, you see a random card in my hand, and then he got an island as the second one. So a Daze and island is that he gets to draw a card extra for each bubble during the next upkeep, which is his own. So this is basically, it's a way to make his deck a 56 card deck, right? Because those 4 cards that he has there is just it costs 0 for the bobble, and he's gonna get a card back anyway, right? So it's a way to get 4 cards out of his deck, so it makes it more efficient. So he drew, but he made a mistake. He only drew 1, and then he did another fetch land. So he's gonna notice this, and he's gonna draw 2 more. I will impulse end of turn. Look at the top 4. Put 1 into my hand. I think I'll respond to that. Yeah. So I'm impulsing end of turn. So he's doing a shock. So that's 3 damage. He's doing a lightning bolt. That's another 3. So I'm at 12. So this is turn 2, and I'm already at 12. So he does in reaction to my impulse. So yeah, I think he already knows that the cards that he missed from the bubble. So he's at 18. So his life is the die that's on my edge of my playmat. All right, so I get one card, put it back. So yeah, I'm very concerned right now. So just turned 2 and I already lost 8 life. And this is before sideboard, right? So after sideboard with the chills, I think that's a very strong, probably the strongest card I could play. So this is I forget the name, but this is a land. Basically, every time he taps it, he deals damage, 1 damage to himself. It taps for red. But the thing is that he can tap, pay red, pay another red, and then it becomes a shock where he does 2 damage. So and it's a land, so it's uncounterable. So if he gets me down to 2 life, he can just do that and then kill me, and I can't do anything about it. At least not with the deck I have. If the land stays tapped, then that's different, right? So because it doesn't untap, that's different. All right. So then I go for, usually my turn is just draw, go, draw, go. Okay, so he's passed. So he's shocking me again. So I'm at 10 already. Okay, so he taps. That should be 1 damage minus that I think he's writing it down, but I'm not. So I counterspell that. I missed what it was. It was. By the way, I counterspelled it. Let's see. So that was at the end of my turn, I believe, because now he's playing. Yeah, he's playing this. It does enchantment does 2 damage during each upkeep. So usually a red deck, a lot of their own cards does do damage to themselves, but they don't care about that because they just care about doing consistent damage to the opponent. Because so if I let this through, and I don't have a boomerang later on, it's gonna drop me low enough where he can kill me with like a bolt or something. So this is one of those spells I got. If I was at 20, maybe I would let it slide, and even that's probably not. Yeah, I gotta counterspell this. Okay. I Arcane Denial it. So the tricky thing about Arcane Denial is that it's gonna make him draw 2 additional cards, and he's burned, right? So he's gonna get more burn, right? More cards. All right, so a time he can draw during my upkeep. Well, he may, right? It's not mandatory, but of course he's gonna do it. So I draw. I see a stasis in my hand, but I don't see a way where. Okay, so the stasis, yeah.
No, nothing untaps, right?
There's no untaps. So I don't think I have a Forsaken City or some,
So you pass.
So I have no backup. Basically, I have to pay it with the lands I have in play.
Bloodstained Mire.
Okay, that's a fetch land.
So I'll crack this.
So he's taking the damage.
That was 17.
Yeah. So and I think he took a damage previously from that other land that does 1 damage that can shock. So I'm not, and this may maybe pertinent. All right, so I think he's 1 lower than I think it is, but whatever. Okay, so he got up mountain from that, and the fetch lands that they have, the red burn deck has, is just to thin out their deck, so that way they can get more direct damage or more threats out. So Grim Levimancer, he's just a 1/1, but he has an ability where taps pay red, and then remove 2 cards from the graveyard to do a shock. So I gush end of turn, so I bring up the 2 lands that were tapped. So this is how I can keep on paying the upkeep cost of the stasis without having to have a Forsaken City. Although I prefer Forsaken City, because then my mana can then be used to counterspell stuff and hard cast it. Because not every counterspell that I have in my deck is the type that I can cast for free. Okay, so I paid the upkeep, I draw, so I have a couple more lands in hand, right? So I can keep this going, but I need something.
Cards pass.
Because if he, yeah, so okay. So pay, draw, land, pass. So he's got a, okay, so he's playing a mountain finally. So you see how he's getting too many cards in hand. So when I drop that Black Vise, he's going to be taking damage, of course. But red, they have a lot of one casting cost things. So yep, there it is. Jackal Pup is a 2/1, right? So that's so it's similar to Seven Alliance, of course, has a drawback. But for red, like I said, they don't care too much. They just, they'll end up beating you before their drawbacks come back to bite them. So yeah, I know he can't stay because he's gonna hit me for a few. So I do a daze, which helps me because I bring a card, tap island back to my hand, which gives me an extra turn for the stasis. But I was mentioning I don't want to hit 8 life because then he has Fire Blast, right? That's a spell that you can sacrifice 2 mountains instead of paying the casting cost, and then does 4 damage each. So he has 2, and I don't counterspell them. That's gonna be trouble. So I'm trying not to hit 8 life. So here I'm just drawing, paying, playing a land. All right, stasis, draw, play. So this is you see my turns are very simple. Okay, so he maybe have 7 or over 7. Okay, so I think he's at 7 though. Okay, so I'm just waiting for that Black Vise.
There's a bobble.
All right, so he has another bubble, right? So and this. Okay, so he's.
Showing
All right, so
camera.
he saw I got a daze.
And that's all I got. Go ahead.
All right, so then draw. I paid the upkeep already. I'm putting the tap lands to the side just so that it's a bit more neater on my play area.
Does that do anything in your grave?
Okay, so I'm discarding. So I'm discarding a. Oh, yeah, that green card. I made a mistake, and that should have been in my sideboard. So I discarded it and didn't play. First of all, I can't play it, right? But I discarded it because I didn't want to play it because that was a mistake from my side. So even with the Forsaken City, I wasn't going to cast it. That was my mistake. So I didn't want it to be relevant in game 1.
I'll move to.
All right, so he's tapped down. He's not getting. So yeah, he's discarding
Pass.
down to 7. So yeah. So I think I have a Chain of Vapor or something. So I'm counting just to see. Okay. All right. Yep. End of turn. I'm bringing up Chain of Vapor. Playing Chain of Vapor on my stasis. Untaps all my lands. Play another land. Stasis.
Draw.
And then I pass. So I have another stasis in hand in case that one gets destroyed.
I will move to discards. Price of progress.
All right, he's discarding. So impulse, right? Because I'm like desperate to get that Black Vise. He's at 7 cards. And since I have a lot more untapped lands now, so I can still. Okay, I get the combo with. So now it doesn't matter how much lands I have untapped. Well, it still matters, but less. So, but other than that, just pass. Ooh, I see a Fire Blast in his hand. So he can do 4 damage without any mana.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
He sacrifices mountains, but they're tapped anyway, right? So what does he care? All right, so he's discarding.
And incinerate.
Okay, so upkeep, draw. Okay, I think that was a gush. Yeah, I'm gushing during my own turn. Because like I said, and then I played the land that I gush because I'm trying to draw it, and then there it is, right? Because usually you gush end of turn, But I'm desperate. I need to play that Black Vise ASAP.
Lose 3 because I'm at 7.
And then I discarded down to 7 from the gush. I had too many cards in hand.
I draw.
Okay, so he's taking damage. He took 3 right there. So he's from 17 to 14. So I think he should have been taking 1 extra life. But either way, like I didn't notice. But maybe not. So for now, I have it as 14 life. Plus maybe I'm wrong, right? But we'll see. All right, so he attacks with the Grim Lavamancer for 1 damage. So I'm at 9. So little by little, I know he has a Fire Blast. If he gets 1 more and then deals 1 damage to me, that's 9 life. So I drew, I play a land, and that's it. I think. Am I doing something else? Okay, so yeah, but before he takes draws, takes 3. So yeah, but I don't think that was a land. So yeah, he passes. Draw, play a land, pass. He's taking again. He's at 8. So 3 more turns. Okay, he has a fetch land. Uses it. He's at 7. So yeah. So yeah, he gets here he's going through his own deck because he can search his own deck, right? So I think he's thinking about scooping. So he's looking what can he have. So yeah, he does have Fire Blast there. So yeah, so he's at 7, right? So he's only got a couple more turns before the Black Vise is going to kill him. But it is feasible that he can still win if he gets another Fire Blast because he's got 1 red, so he's going to do some kind of damage. Of course, all this time I've been drawing and drawing and drawing, so my hand must be stacked for counterspell, right? So I don't think that's going to make a difference anyway. So yeah, I got so much stuff I got to start discarding. I discarded Stasis because I'm all in. Okay, so end of turn, he's Fire Blasting me, so there it is, 4 life. So with red, I really don't like being so low. So I don't know if I'm going to counterspell this or... Yeah, thwart. So that's 2 for 1 basically. Because I counterspell and I got 3 lands back that I can use for more stasis. So he's sacrificing 2 more for that. So he did have 2 Fire Blasts. But I countered 1. So I'm thinking, okay, and there it is. I used the lands that I drew back for foil. So this is discard a land and 1 other card to get a free counterspell. So the same lands that I returned from my thwart, I used it for the foil. Okay, so he still has 1 red open, so he lightning bolts me. I'm letting that through. So I'm at 6, because I counterspell 2 Fire Blasts. I'm like, okay, so that was end of his turn. Oh wait, he's supposed to take, he dropped to 4, so he took no damage. So it still, was useful, because he's buying himself more time. So I tapped, drew. Okay, so I pass. So he's at 5, so he took 1. He's at 6.
I'm at 6.
So he's going to take 2 damage next turn. I draw. I got play a land. I pass.
Go down to 4.
Takes 2. He's at 4. Okay. Okay, he has another fetch land. So I'm at 6, so I'm really low. So if he gets another, he's going to get another mountain from that, so he can Fire Blast again. And then, but that's for free, no casting cost. By sacrificing 2 mountains. And then he can still do that last point of damage in, red. There's no problem. So he passes, but I am stasis. I am Chain of Vapor in my own stasis because you see I have 3 lands left. And I probably did it this way because I wanted to keep 2 lands open in case he responded to something. All right, so I got my untap back. Ooh, and then cast a stasis and then second Black Vise. Okay, so he's sacrificing that. He's at 3. Gets a mountain. But he's gonna think he's gonna die, yeah. So it shocks me. Foil, he's tapped out. So So I counterspell that. He's at 3.
I go down
He
to
takes 2 damage. He's at 1.
turn to figure this out. Let's say my
And then he plays a he plays a fetch land and he uses it to kill himself because it costs 1 life.
first this game, do you remember?
But yeah, he got me down to 5. Like, and my worst fears were true. He did have the 2 fire blasts in hand. But I had enough counter spells to save myself by that point. Because yeah, we were just draw go, draw go, draw go. All right. So looking at my sideboard here. So no, I keep on confusing the Anno side artwork with the Chill because it's the same artist. And he has a similar artistic style to both cards. So I put in 4 chills. So it's an enchantment. Red spells cost an additional 2 to play. So this is ridiculous against red. So I originally had blue elemental blasts to deal with red stuff, but I think I had 3 or 4 of them. But I decided chill is just better. And overall, I think I played. That's an accurate statement. Okay, going into game 3.
Okay, this as well. I go. Blessing Mire, crack.
Opponent does a fetch land.
19.
So you just do it just for the red, right?
So neither one of us mulligan, either first game or second game, in case I didn't mention it. So it's at 19. I have his life on the left side.
Although in this matchup doesn't help.
Japanese and I can't reproduce. No, but I wanted to do green out the model.
So I wonder what he put in against me. So Grim Lavamancer, I draw. So I must have put in all 4 chills. But that's it.
Move to combat.
So it's attacking, hits me for 1.
Play a second one.
Second Grim Lavamancer, and then he passes. So he is mana screwed here, which is bad because boom, I drop out the chill.
Cast an additional 2.
So now he needs to have 3 lands before he can do anything that costs 1 mana. But the also bad thing is that he already has 2 Grim Lavamancers out in play. So now I gotta do something about those guys. Bauble is a free artifact, so it doesn't cost him anything, so it gets past the chill. So he just sees a island from the Ursus Bauble.
Everything costs 2.
So I think he's deciding what to do, but I mean, he can't do anything. Even for the spells that costs are free, like Fire Blast, you still gotta pay extra. Because that's an additional cost. So here, I Chain of Vapor one of the Grim Lavamancers because I know he can't cast it again right away. He needs to have 2 more mana sources before he can cast that Grim Lavamancer again. So it's a way for me to... And I told him he can sacrifice that amount for him to copy the Chain of Vapor back, but I don't think he wants to do it, considering he only has 1 land in play. Okay. So I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe I'm deciding if I do anything.
Beginning of the next upkeep.
Yeah, which is mine.
Okay.
If you did it during your turn.
So I think I'm letting him know that
The next upkeep.
he gets the extra card during the next upkeep, whether it's his own or an opponent's. So I think he thought he could only get it during his own upkeep. So that card is even better than he anticipated. All right, so he gets another fetch land. So for the fetch lands, he doesn't care which one it is, right? Because as long as it gets him red mountains, he can get whichever fetch land he wants.
Can't cast any
A lot of these decks, I think, have like 6 or 8 fetch lands just so that he can get mountains.
to combat.
Anyway, all right, so another attack. So he has 2 mountains out, right? So that just deals with the choke cost. So he still needs mana past this. So I draw, I play the land, but he's at 2 lands plus a chill. I'm at 4 mana, so I'm doing okay.
Land, crack.
Okay, he gets another fetch land, which is good for him because it thins out his deck. Plus he gets pass, now he can actually cast things. So he can cast that Grim Lavamancer again if he wants. But maybe he has something better by now.
Move to combat. Swing.
So coming in for an attack first, 15. So usually, so those Lavamancers have done 5 points of damage to me. So he passes. So okay, I pass, end of turn.
Pyroblast that.
Ooh, Pyroblast. So he's destroying the chill because he's paid the extra chill cost. So yeah, I gotta protect it. Daze. So I hard cast the daze because I don't want to return a land to my hand. Because I have.
Move to combat.
This is Stasis is similar. Deck is still similar to the deck from old school where you want to have an abundance of resources. So he attacks me again. So that Lavamancer has done 6 points of damage to me. 3 mana, partly casting the Lavamancer again, the one I returned originally. Yep. And looks like I'm letting it through. So I do see a Stasis in my hand. So he has 1 Lavamancer tapped and 3 lands tapped. Ooh, second chill.
Reacting to it.
Well, I can actually, yeah.
Even with fire blasting.
So it was either second chill or a Stasis. So I guess I don't know if I have a Forsaken City. I don't think so, though. So I guess that's why I went for the second chill as opposed to the Stasis. But yeah, so now he's back to square 1.
Try a curse.
Okay, score rank. So this is an artifact. He names a card, one presumably one from a card that he has in hand, and then if I guess right, he has to reveal his hand. It does damage to me. But with the Stasis, he'll have a lot of cards in hand, so that plus of course he needs to pay, I believe, 3 colorless to activate it. So it's a card that once I have a Stasis out is not very useful. All right, so I play a land, so I'm on tap now. So he has nothing else, so I could cast the Stasis. So even though if I don't have a Forsaken City, you see how it's still useful for me to use it, to play it. I mean,
Even like
because
shot, for example.
there's a lot of ways for me to return my tapped islands back, and then I can replay them, right? So here, in hindsight, this is a mistake. I should have cast the Stasis because I forgot about this ability. So end of turn, he's tapping 2 red. He's removing 4 cards from his graveyard, and he did 4 points of damage to me right now. And he tapped 2 more, so he would have had only 1 mountain open. If I had the Stasis, of course, he could have still done it, but it would have cost him a lot of mana, and then all his stuff would have been tapped, or except for 1 mountain. And then now he still got to do the damage, and then he still gets the untap. So yeah, and then he's gonna come in for attack. So that was, yeah, and you see, I told you I don't want to hit 8 life. I do have 2 chills though, right? So, but still, okay, you see, so in hindsight, I should have played the Stasis the previous turn. I totally neglected the ability of the Lavamancers. Because a lot of times opponents will not attack with their creatures because they know they can get 1 hit out of it anywhere, right? So it doesn't matter when they attack too much. So I thought, okay, he's just waiting to do math with his cards, and then he'll see if he'll attack then. But I totally neglected the ability that they have. So yeah, so I don't have a city, Forsaken City, so I'm just relying on me drawing more lands, or me returning my own tap lands and replaying them. But that's a viable option. I do that all the time. Because it's not feasible for me to think that I'm going to get the Forsaken City all the time. Plus, it can be wastelanded, right? So it can be destroyed. So the deck does not bank on it. Right, so his whole hand is red. He has 4 mana. So that means he can't cast any of what's in his hand at the moment. Plus, if he casts anything, his lands are gonna stay tapped. Of course, I'm at 8, right? So it takes very little, especially for red. But because of that second chill, I think honestly
Discard.
he's locked out.
Upkeep, draw, pass.
I may even get, maybe if it's the third chill, forget it. Because even Fire Blast, he has to tap all his lands just to play Fire Blast and sacrifice 2 mountains. And I think that's the only spell that he has that doesn't cost any mana to cast. But of course, he still has to pay for because of the chills. So I'm just draw, play, tap. Okay, but I do have two untapped islands by now, right? So if I have a Chain of Vapor or something, I gotta do it soon. So it has another Ursus Bauble.
7,
Okay, do I have another land? Can I keep this going? So then this is where I start getting desperate. I think I'm passing.
Yeah, crack it.
So this is where I can maybe, if the opponent casts something, I may daze it. There it is. Just so I can get 1 land back or thwart it, right? Where I can get 3 lands back. So I've done that in previous games where I counterspell something that's, not too crucial, only because I want to get lands back to my hand. Okay, so hopefully I have a Chain of Vapor right now.
end of turn.
Yep, there we go. Oof.
Sure.
And then he can react to it because he has 4 mana. Yeah, he cannot react to it. Because of the 4 chills, the 4 mountains is not enough. So he's discarding end of turn. I get my full untap. I get my stasis, but I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for the Black Vise. But I have a whole bunch of turns now. And all my lands are untapped in case he gets something, because I am at 8 life. He can't. Okay, so I was thinking about maybe he can do this per scroll.
Discard.
It's already in play, so honestly, maybe that's a better bet than him waiting to cast red stuff. But he has 7 cards in hand, so it's unlikely that I'm going to pick the card that he names.
Discard, arcane.
So I'm discarding cards from my hand. Okay, so he got 1 more mana, so he can do something that costs 1 red. That's how bad the chills are. So I'm just drawing,
Discard, arcane.
and yeah, I'm like, since I have 7 cards in hand, if I don't get a land, I gotta discard.
Pass.
Okay, so he gets a fetch land. So, but he passes. I draw. I get another land.
Draw.
Okay, he's drawing. So he drew a Fire Blast there. But like I said, it is no longer a free spell. He has to pay 4 mana for it. So I see, yeah, his hand is stacked with direct damage. Wow. Or, yeah, Fire Blast, yeah. Lock Fanatic, yeah. Or whatever that goblin thing is. So, but this is what I don't like, like I just draw going, like it gets a little boring, Plus there's so much suspense. Okay, so he's sacrificing his fetch land to get him on end of turn. So he's just, wants to thin out his deck a bit more. Maybe he gets something. I don't know what he has in his. So I guess, the Pyroblast. So I guess he can cast the Pyroblast to. Yeah, if he gets. He has 6 lands, so if destroys 1 chill, he can definitely cast things with 1 chill destroyed. But it costs him 5 mana just to cast that 1 chill. And my hand must be stacked if I'm discarding like arcane denials and such. So I think this is.
I keep.
I'm just waiting for that Black Vise, but we'll see.
Discard. Okay.
I pass.
Discard. Go.
All right, passes. My turn. Draw. I drew another stasis,
Discard.
and I discard it. Because I'm all in on the one I have already. I think did he draw a second Fire Blast? Yeah, he got 2 so he can kill me. Normally he would win the game right now with most other people. He's got 2 Fire Blasts in hand. but he can only cast one of them,
I got 2 chills on.
and then I'm probably going to counterspell anyway.
Upkeep.
Draw,
And 2
land,
pass.
pass. Draws. So he's at 7. So once I have a Black Vise, I'm going to be doing
Somehow keep ending up with
3
four
damage every
cards in my
turn.
hand.
Upkeep.
Okay, so pay the upkeep, draw. I think I finally, finally get the Black Vise. So he's at 16 now. And I have 1 untapped island. So I think if he wants to do something, like a Pyroblast, I don't know if he has it in his hand, or maybe he wants to do a bit more points of damage to me, this may be the best time.
Besides this one, we can.
But yeah, he can. Okay,
2 red.
he's paying 2 for a Fire Blast, but I tell him that's wrong because I get
Oh,
2 chills.
Pay 4 mana.
you may sacrifice instead of paying the casting cost.
You still have to pay additional.
I still have to pay
So
additional.
you gotta pay 4
Oh,
and
yeah, that,
sacrifice.
So he it still costs him. He still has to pay 4 mana for it.
I mean, still,
So
you gotta
I'm
do
telling him to take it back because he misunderstood it.
So it's no longer free.
But I think he's still going to.
But you got enough to do it. Right?
Leave him off the gold. I'm tired.
I need to pay 4.
I think I'm gonna leave after this.
Not even 5 o'clock yet.
Okay, so he's paying 5 and sacrificing, but then he made a mistake. He paid 1 extra. But either way, I have a thwart. You see, so I'm waiting for
that was at the end of your turn. So now
that. I would have countered spell anyway, right? But
draw.
yeah, so he tapped 1 extra by mistake. But I mean, that's 1 extra mana. I got 2 chills. He couldn't cast anything red anyway.
Yeah, because he has 6.
So he took 3 damage there. He's at 14. I think he's passing. So my turn. I tapped that final mountain, but I mean island. But then I already
Card.
drew 3 lands back to my hand from the thwart. So that gives me 3 more turns. He takes another 3. He's at 11. He's not drawing land, so he's just keeping. Pay, draw,
Land pass.
play a land. I got a gush, so I can.
Return my own lands.
So I'm not gonna be running out anytime soon. I'm gonna return 2 more
If he
lands.
didn't cast anything, I could have maybe not. But I mean, but he needed to, right?
Okay, he took another 3 before.
8, right?
Yeah, he's at 8.
Pay the upkeep. Draw.
So my turn, tap.
I got the luck. Pass.
Okay, so I finally got the combo out with Forsaken City.
Go down to 5.
He took another 3. He's at 5.
Pay the upkeep.
I tapped the Forsaken City for mana. So now, if I play a land, I can actually use it because the Forsaken City. Okay, oof.
Damage.
Yeah, yeah.
So it has 7 cards. And yep,
And you had a daze.
he
still
takes
left in
6
your
points of
hand.
damage
2.
You
during
keep
his
revealing dazes,
next turn because
when I did the yours
of the 2 Black Vices.
Oh,
But
that's
whoa,
what
that was
Am I looking at the same card or not?
very tricky. So now looking at my deck and my sideboard, I ended up, as I mentioned, putting in chills. I could have maybe put in the annals now that I saw him playing. Well, the first game he was playing that enchantment. So annal would have been good against that artifact or enchantment, counter spells for 1 blue. But honestly, the chill is way superior than anything else. I could have done both, I guess. But I got lucky that I had a quick chill, and also lucky that he had a low mana for game 2. So then that second chill basically sealed the deal once that second one hit. And the annals or anything else, the chill was the only thing that I added in for this game. But now, as I mentioned, this was the championship game. So I ended up being 3-0 with Stasis. And of course, that means I won the tournament. And this is what I won. So for first place, there were several cards for top 3, top 4, I believe. I get first crack as being the winner. So I chose the Kurt Scroll. After that, and we all had to donate a card as well. I forgot what card I donated for the prize pool. And then when it came back around to me, I chose the gold bordered Mastercore. And then the Mana Leak in the center, that was a participation card that everybody got from the tournament. But of course, there's a little critter all the way up top. Let me see if I can zoom in on this in all its glory. So thank you to Reggie, the tournament organizer, for making this. So this is the trophy, Phyrexian Dreadnought trophy. So pretty cool. Almost a year ago, I won a different trophy, I think for second place though, if I'm not mistaken, for the Spooktacular event. So this is a nice award that I've gotten now, a second one from these tournaments, and of course this time I got first place, right? So pretty excited, and this is an excellent trophy. This like looks amazing. This picture doesn't do it justice, so I'm very happy with it, and happy with how the way the tournament turned out, and of course happy with the deck, my deck. But I do intend on making changes to it, and I already have some ideas and already ordered some cards, so you'll be seeing some videos about the changes that I'm making to the Stasis deck, just to make it either more quicker to get the combo out. You know, just I don't like stalling out and waiting. You know, it's like I know it's also boring for the opponent as well. You know, so I rather get that finishing move and finding that Black Vise quicker, right? So, experimenting with some other ideas, and I'm seeing if I like it or not. But for now, this is pretty good in terms of what I have as the base, right? So I won this tournament. I'm very happy with this deck, and I knew what I was getting into, right? I knew it was going to be boring sometimes, actually a whole bunch of times. But I really do love this combo, this Stasis decks. Unfortunately, like I mentioned, it's not viable in old school, although I do want to give it a crack. Traditional Stasis Kismet. I do want to give it a crack in old school, but I don't anticipate it being very strong against the decks that are prevalent in old school. But I do want to give it a shot. But I know Stasis is tier 1, maybe tier 2 deck in Premodern, right? So, and then for this tournament, it was good enough for me to win. So thank you guys for watching.